I want to share an incredible story with you. Right now it's Chanukah. We say Al Nisim, Al Purkan, Al Gvurot, Al Tshuot, Al Niflot, Al Milchamot Shasita Lavotenu Bayamim Mahem Bazman Hazeh. We talk about the miracles. We talk about the wars that were fought by Yamim Mahem back in the day, Bazman Hazeh, and now. And right now we're fighting a war against evil, against terror, against a horrific enemy. But we too have miracles. And one of those miracles is the story of Benny Hason, who lived in a kibbutz called Kissufim on the Gaza border, which is where I've been serving for the last few months. And Benny Hason woke up at 6 a.m. on Shabbat morning to the sound of the red alert, of sirens blaring through the kibbutz, rocket fire. And Benny took his whole family, ran into the bomb shelter, and hid in the bomb shelter, waiting for the rocket fire to stop. But the rocket fire increased. And not only was there rocket fire, there were gunshots heard inside the kibbutz. And Benny, sitting inside of his bomb shelter, davened to Hashem and said, "Thank you, Hashem." Because 10 years prior, Benny had ordered a new door for his bomb shelter. And the door that Benny had ordered was a simple door. But when the truck showed up with the door, they showed up with an armored door, the most advanced protective door that they could offer. And Benny said, "I didn't pay for this door." And they said, "We want to give it to you anyway." And Benny insisted on paying the full price for the armored door. And that door that he didn't order, but that he miraculously received a few years prior, is the door that saved him and his family's life. And Benny eventually, after hearing the gunfire come to a lull, opened the door to the bomb shelter, looked outside, and saw a terrorist looking him in the eye, smashing the window to his house, to Benny's house, with a shovel that he found in the garden, and throwing 2 grenades inside the house. Benny immediately ran into the bomb shelter, waited for the explosion, but nothing happened. The grenades didn't explode. And Benny stayed in the bomb shelter, hearing blasts of rockets and gunfire and an RPG that was shot at his house, until 4 a.m. the next day, when Benny heard Hebrew outside of his door, the bomb shelter. And Benny, thinking that it was Hamas trying to break into the bomb shelter and kill his family, that they were speaking in Hebrew, wasn't so sure about opening the bomb shelter. And he said to the Hebrew speakers, who he thought was Hamas, he said, "Finish this sentence, Shema Yisrael." And they responded, "Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad." And Benny knew they were soldiers, they were IDF soldiers, Chayalei Tzahal. He opened the bomb shelter, hugged the soldiers, and cried with them, and again said thank you to Hashem. And the soldiers told Benny, "Come outside, we want to show you something." And there was a terrorist on Benny's grill outside who had an explosive device in his hand. He was trying to blow up the gas tank to burn down Benny's entire house, but the soldiers had killed him seconds before he was able to blow up the whole house. And Benny got into his car with his family and drove away from the kibbutz as fast as he could as terrorists were shooting at him. They broke the gas tank, they punctured one of Benny's tires, but Benny was able to keep driving because Benny always filled up his tires with a substance that prevented flat tires. So Benny had a number of miracles that happened to him, saving his life and his family's life. And one of Benny's sons was outside the house early that morning, and he heard the gunfire, he heard the rockets. He dug himself a pit in the sand, hid in the pit, took a pipe, an irrigation pipe, and used it to breathe while he covered himself in dirt. And this brother sent his location on WhatsApp to another brother of his who was in Sri Lanka. And the brother who was abroad in Sri Lanka was able to get in touch with Tzahal, with the army, to be able to locate the brother and rescue him from within the kibbutz. So Benny was saved because of many miracles. And Al Nisim, we're davening now on Chanukah, thinking about the miracles that happened back in the day. But it's not just by Yamim Mahem, it's also Bazman Hazeh. It's also nowadays. Chanukah Sameach, everyone.